Man, that was a good show today. But guess what? We're still here. For those brave enough to hang around, man, are you in for a treat? Welcome to the Gun Talk After Show. This is where we exhale and loosen up a little bit and maybe handle some of the issues that were either too strong for the radio or maybe that we just didn't have time for. So let's get Tom back in here along with show producer Jim Kinsey, Michael, and Michelle. Now, the Gun Talk After Show. Take it away, guys.
All right, it is the After Show. It's Gun Talk Part 3 or something, 3.0. I don't know, whatever it is. It is the beta. That's right, because it's certainly not ready for public release. I can guarantee you that. We got Michael, Michelle, and Jim. Did we let Jim out of that little room in the back yet? I don't know.
Well, I locked the door behind him, though. So
yeah, but he keeps that key, that thing. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Guy actually owns a place. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Well, as if you think that gives you the right to just walk around anywhere you want to go just because you own the place.
Jeez,
a lot of nerve.
At least he's wearing a shirt today.
Oh.
Nice visual.
And that really makes concealed carry difficult, I tell you. Okay. All right, thanks for joining us for the after show. That was about all we could do here.
Signing off for the day.
I just got to ask you guys about this. The Moms Demand Action group, they truly have lost their minds. They're spinning like crazy on the fact that Kroger will not cave in to their demands. They've just never had a store say, no, we're not going to do that. All the other stores go, yeah, okay. We'll just make the statement, and then it won't change anything, and you guys will leave us alone, right? And they go, yeah, then we'll leave you alone. All right, question for you guys. How is that not extortion? I mean,
completely.
Sounds like it to me. It sounds like it to do this, or we will hurt your business. Okay, and then they said, well, thank you for your input, but we're just going to obey the laws. Nope, not good enough for us. We want a statement from you that says gun people are crazy. Because that's really all they're looking for, is to change the conversation.
And there's been a rash of shootings at the Kroger lately across the U.S., hasn't there? Several carry holders killing people.
Especially, it's the ne'er-do-wells in the vegetable section that really scare you.
Yeah.
The radical radishes.
That's my cucumber.
Take it easy, sir. Just put down the tomato and slowly back away. Okay.
Reload in aisle 3.
Yeah.
There you go. That's right. I meant to tell you guys a little bit more about what happened during our shooting of first-person offender this week. It was a hoot. We did have a young man and his girlfriend there. He talked about how he was there to help protect himself, but also protect her, and they go to places together, and he's always looking out and checking exits and all that. So we put him into the middle of a quote-unquote city council meeting. I was the mayor up there. I got shot every darn time. Bad guy comes in, he shoots up in the ceiling and shoots the mayor, drops him. And we turn around, and this guy is gone. And his girlfriend is on the floor hiding behind a chair. He has boogied. He has left the building. And
nice.
We finished it, and during the interview, and asked her, well, what'd you think when you turned around and saw Brandon wasn't there? And you could see steam coming out of her ear. Ooh, gonna be a long drive home. Next time around, he hung around there, and we trained him on, and people don't know this, they don't train, you have to grab the person you're with, drag them around, put them behind you, think Secret Service, think bodyguard move, something like that. Now, you're blocking the way. You've got them behind you. You're standing between them and the bad guy, and you've got your gun out to use if you have to, but mostly you're just backing out, getting out of that place.
Wow.
I mentioned we had a great-grandmother who carries a 1911 at work. She works at a gun store, and she's also a USPSA IPSC competitor.
Oh, cool.
So she was tearing it up. And let me tell you, and we told her, said, here's the deal. You're here, and you've got 2 of your grandchildren in the back of the car, and what we've set up was this guy came, and he was going to steal the car, and basically a carjacking. Nah, not happening. Mama Bear went nuts on him.
Wow.
I'm looking, yep. Okay, I've still got marks. I've just checked. I've still got marks from the simunitions. Those things hurt, man.
It's got to be worse than a paintball.
Oh, yeah, it's much worse. It's they say that you need to feel the pain penalty. Yeah, well, you do, because, of course, I was doing the scenario where, all right, here's how it works. You're going to come in here, and you're going to shoot the mayor. Guess who's got to be the mayor up at the front of the room every time? Whack, whack. And then we pulled a Terminator deal. If bad guy goes down, gets shot, but if the good guy doesn't stay plugged in, and he looks around after it, the bad guy's going to roll over and shoot him from the ground.
Wow.
Better stay plugged in. It's not over till the good guys show up.
Now, how many feet per second do those simunition rounds run? I mean, generally.
4 to 12 million feet per second.
Wow.
Yeah, at least it feels like it when you get whacked. That's right. It's a laser beam. I don't know. I would probably guess it's in the 350, 400. Wow. Just a rough guess.
I had, not to get too terribly graphic, I had a nipple blown off about 12 years ago with a paintball gun. So
we can only do this on the after show. That's why we do it.
Right. Well, it was a hot day, and the match was over. I left my mask on, thank God, took my shirt off, and then boom.
Whack.
And you don't recover from that very quickly. So I was just kind of wondering, if it hurts
actually we did. One of the guys got shot in the nipple also. It smarts, So you need more padding on it. So I said, look, you didn't wear your padded bra, dude. Yeah. But let me tell you, after everybody was wearing their groin protector, I can tell you that.
Yeah,
I'd bet.
Cup check.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, we got people on hold. We got to get some of these folks in here. Let's bring on line 2. Tom is traveling somewhere in Missouri. Hey, Tom.
I had one that I kind of threw at Michelle, and she had to think about it. I don't know if she ever really did come up with an answer.
Okay.
So I figured I'd take it throw it at you. Somebody brought up an air rifle with an integral suppressor built onto it, so you didn't have to have the NFA stamp for that.
Mm-hmm.
He brought up a short-barreled rifle and then putting a suppressor on it. What if somebody manufactured a short-barreled rifle with a suppressor integral to it that couldn't be taken off? Would you have to have either or both stamps or neither?
Well, you would have to have at least one stamp. The question would be, is the barrel length with the suppressor? And it's a good point because you can put a suppressor on that's not removable, so it just becomes part of the barrel.
Yep.
If it is at least 16 inches long, now it's no longer an SBR. It's not a short barrel rifle.
Right.
So you need the stamp for the suppressor, but if it comes off, then you actually need 2 stamps, one for the short barrel rifle and one for the suppressor. So that's 2 times $200.
Okay. Well, I guess that answers that real good. But I had another quick comment too. You brought up about the liberal comment a while back, and I think I have an idea for the NRA and basically anybody else that wants to term the liberals as specifically, and that is to let the other people that claim that they're liberals, but yet they're for the Second Amendment, that makes them constitutional liberals. They believe in the Constitution. So please understand, liberals, if you're a liberal and you claim to be a liberal, but you believe in the Constitution, you're a constitutional liberal. You're not who we're talking about.
Interesting. And there's nothing I have done in the last number of years that has stirred people up nearly as much as this topic. And I've had tons of people, I am causing the downfall of democracy, and lots of people, I'll never listen to your show again. Okay, fine. And lots of stuff there. And there's one of the comments I've been getting is, well, but these people will still vote for liberal politicians. Well, okay. So what are we supposed? I mean, you're not allowed to shoot them. Okay, I mean, you don't get to shoot people just because they're going to vote for somebody you don't want to vote for.
But we're working on it.
What are you? And he's like, what are you saying? I mean, all I'm saying here is, if somebody says, I'll help you when you want to go talk to the mayor, because I know the mayor, and if he's liberal, do you say, no, we're not going to let you help us. You're liberal. Or do we just say, sure, I'll take help from anywhere I can get it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You would have thought I had said we should make Dianne Feinstein the president of the NRA or something. I mean, it was really amazing. I mean, oh my gosh. It was just like,
what you been smoking, son? Yeah.
That's right. Everybody just slow down a little bit. Listen just a touch more carefully. All I'm saying is, would you not accept the help of someone who is a self-described liberal if they said, sure, I'll go to that march. I'll go talk to the city council with you. I'll go help you with whatever you're doing at the range? Or would you say, no, I'm sorry, you fit in a category that I like to demonize, so we're not going to take your help? Or are you in a position where you say, no, if you won't help us on everything, which is I think where people are going, where they say, but he might vote for a Democrat. Yeah, but you're not going to change that. But if you could get them to come help you on some things, is that not better than having them help you on nothing? Guys, help me out here. Am I?
Well, yeah, your car's broke down on the side of the road in the middle of the night, and the guy or lady that stops to help you has a pro-choice bumper sticker on their car. You're going to say, well, no, you and I don't agree, so move along. I'll wait for the next car. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that. Because I'm broken on the side of the road at least twice a week.
Well, one of her people probably broke your car down in the first place.
Yeah.
It just, I've been scratching my head over it. But what I've certainly come to find out and realize is that some people are so invested into the us versus them, there's not much nuance out there, I guess. And that's probably
for the trees.
Well, that's a thing that's going on a lot with the the polarization of politics.
Polarized. Everybody is so polarized right now that you can't have an opinion without being immediately demonized by the opposite opinion.
Well, got to put you into a pigeonhole. Got to find the box. You are this, and I'll check the box. Now I know you are either my friend or you're my enemy, and I must know, should I like you or should I hate you? Tell me what you are, and then I'll tell you if I like you or hate you. Well, I just want help on this issue. That's all. I want every piece of help I can get. And if I can get it from somebody who votes a different way on different things or whatever, I'm sorry, folks. I'm a gun guy. I'm going to take all the help I can get for gun rights.
Amen.
So just where it is, Tell you what, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We've got to talk to George. George, don't go anywhere. We'll take our break now, and then we'll come back, and we'll do that.
Tired of paying for one concealed carry holster after another that's flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? Alien Gear holsters feature a super stealthy and ultra comfortable design. Our professional quality holsters are backed by an ironclad triple guarantee, including a free 30-day test drive, free shell trades for life, and a forever warranty. Starting at just $29.88, you won't find a better quality or better priced holster on the planet. Any planet. Go to aliengearholsters.com to get yours now.
All right, we are back. It is the after show for Gun Talk. By the way, don't forget you can also, of course, if you're listening to this, I know that you're getting the podcast, so we appreciate that. If you don't have the Gun Talk app, by all means, grab that for your smartphone. That way you can listen. You can contact us through email. You can contact us actually on the phone. Just hit a button on your app, and it calls the phone while we're on the air. It's a pretty neat deal. So let's see. Available for Android and for iPhones. I don't know what's going to happen with the new iPhone there. It's what I want is I want the iPhone, because they're going to make them bigger. I want one that's 27 inches across.
Oh, my gosh.
That would be
I can see
awesome.
that one. Yeah. It comes with a backpack and straps.
I was going to say, you remember the Palm Pilot? This is called the shoulder.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. No, actually, it's the shoulder surgery after you carry this for a while.
I saw a guy with a bag phone about a week ago.
A bag phone?
God, bag phone. I don't know how it was working or if he was just pretending it was working, but I looked at him, did a double take, and I was like, okay.
Those things used to be like $2-3 grand.
I thought my Galaxy was pretty big, but no.
I didn't even know that system, because those use true cell systems. We don't actually use cell phones
800 megahertz,
anymore.
yeah. I don't know if they do.
That's a whole different deal.
I'm thinking he was just walking around trying to be cool.
Okay. Now that's really that's what you call retro cool, or actually what we call that is uncool.
Or he's been walking around for the past 25 years with that bag phone.
Or he's maybe trying to fix a back problem or something,
and look, I just want to know if the battery is still working. I want to get in on that technology. Tesla would love to talk to this guy. Let me tell you. Jeez. Hey, George, line one. How you doing there, my friend?
Excellent. I signed up about 12 people, new NRA members this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
outstanding. Good for you.
Well, I wish it was 15 or 20, but anyway, I did my share for the weekend, as they say. But I know it's a couple of weeks ago, but I've been doing my honeydews, so I wasn't able to call in at all. But a couple of weeks ago, you were talking about the NRA. They had the commercial that started off with liberal people think it's flyover country.
Right.
And I just wanted to say, I looked up in my NRA training counselor's book, and I know they had talked about it when I took the class. You're not supposed to use any reference whatsoever whenever you're teaching a class at all on any topic at all. And when I give my classes, I make sure I ask people, I ask people, what religion do you think my wife is? What race do you think my brother-in-law is? And I go through a whole bunch of stuff, and everybody's going, don't know, don't know, don't know. And then I say, well, do you think you should ever say anything derogatory? What category of derogatory jokes do you think you should be able to tell? So I think it gets the point across.
George, we should explain, when you say training counselor, explain what you're talking about here.
The NRA has training counselors, and they're the ones that certify the instructors. So you have three levels. You have NRA staff that appoints and gives the classes for the training counselors, and then the training counselors are the ones that certify the individual instructors, the NRA instructors.
So your class is made up of people who are becoming NRA instructors, certified instructors. So your point is to them, don't be using any kind of jokes or comments about race, sexual preference, ethnic background, anything like that, because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know what, as you say, what their family is or anything else. And why would you risk offending someone who is your ally? And that's all I'm saying. Why? Oh, and let me do this. George, while I've got you on the phone, I learned something about this. This was an NRA commercial I was speaking about, but it turns out it wasn't an NRA commercial, because you guys remember last week I mentioned I had spent a little time with LaPierre, and I pulled him to the side and I said, look, in fact, he brought it up, he said, have you seen our commercials? I said, yeah. I said, I had a problem, just a little problem with it. He said, what? And I said, well, it starts off, it's liberals call this flyover country. He says, that's not our commercial. I said, what? He says, that's an ILA commercial. He says, that's not an NRA commercial. I went, oh. He was talking about the recruitment commercials, which are very good, by the way. But there's always been a little bit of, that's not us, that's them. So this was an ILA-created commercial, not from the NRA. So not that the general public would understand the difference, but for those of us who kind of pay a lot of attention to it, you go, huh. But he immediately said, yes, they should not have said that. I mean, he just came right out and said that we don't need to be doing that.
See, and that didn't make the piece anyway. You could have switched that over and it wouldn't have had any less impact.
No, exactly right. So George, to your point, in your training manuals from the NRA, it says don't do those kinds of things. That's from NRA proper, not from ILA.
And from my perspective, when I look at a class, guess what? I can't tell what religion or race, most of the people in the class are. It's like I have no idea. And you can't go by last names or make any kind of guess what anything is. So you don't know. And I've been in situations where people thought I was of one religion. And I walk up and people would quit talking. It's a very awkward situation.
Yeah. So. We've got this, the Pink Pistols, the national group of gay, lesbian, transgender shooters, and they go to NRA counselors to become NRA firearms instructors. And so if you've got one of your instructors there taking a teaching class or a counselor teaching a class and makes any kind of comment about gays, lesbians, transsexuals, transgender, whatever, what are we doing here? We've got we are a diverse group of people. We are a big tent. Gun owners, gun rights supporters. We pretty much take in everybody. It makes no sense to do that.
The last training I took for certification purposes, I had an instructor doing the same thing. Thought he was being funny, thought he was being personable to everybody, making jokes about, you made an ethnic joke at one point, and then you made another joke. I don't know. But I was offended for people that weren't showing offense. And I don't get offended easily, but I kind of felt like I don't belong here. I'm not welcome. I'm paying money for this. Why do I feel this way?
All right, here's a question for you.
Yes.
What should we do? Did you say something?
Yes, I did. I pulled him over. I should have probably done it before the 2-day class was over, but I waited till the end of the class, and I probably should have done it beforehand. But. Yeah,
my first tendency would be just to stand up in the middle of the class and say, you probably don't need to be doing that. But that's probably not, that's confrontational, maybe not the way to do it. But maybe at the first break, walk over and say, you don't need to be doing that.
Well, you wonder
and
how
have a
many
little conversation.
people that weren't touched upon by his so-called comedy that weren't offended because they weren't gay or they weren't Mexican or whatever. So they may have not thought it was funny, but they're not going to take any offense to it because it didn't hit home.
Yep, exactly.
Right, but if
And
it's
that's
home
part
for
of the
one
problem.
person, that's the thing. You've already failed.
Oh, I agree, but I'm saying even if they're talking to, they don't make any Italian jokes, I'd still be upset that they're making a Mexican or gay joke because it's just not cool.
It's not cool. It's not funny. It is. You know what it is? It's a put down.
Yeah.
It's just a put down.
But I'm saying it doesn't have to be about you to take offense.
Oh no, I agree. And kind of circle all the way back as from purely a tactical. We're in a battle for gun rights. From a tactical standpoint, it would be foolish to throw away support. And I don't want to go down this road again because now I'm going to get thousands of more emails where people say, you just don't get it because if you support liberals, then they're going to vote for Democrats and they're going to take away our gun rights. That's not what we're saying, guys.
No, but they can definitely open a door that you couldn't get open because of your classification.
Michelle, go with that. Talk about that a little for a minute.
Well, like I said, they can open a door. They may go to many political scenes and be that person that's heard. And now they're outspoken about guns and gun rights. And somebody's like, wow. Mm-hmm. That just opens a door that wasn't there. And, they might not listen to me because I already know I'm a, air quote, pro-gun person.
Mm-hmm. Well, imagine you have a mayor or a city council that tends to be a bit liberal, tends to be heavily Democrat, and you show up from a local gun group, and they're not going to give you the time of day. They'll let you yammer, and they're not going to pay attention to you. But you have somebody who works with you, who also works with them on pick any subject, gay rights.
Already has their respect.
Pro-choice, whatever, is one of, quote unquote, one of them. And then says, and they would take them aside and says, Harvey, we need to talk about this because you guys are on the wrong side of this issue. Now, if I try to do that, he's not going to listen to me.
Right.
Sure.
But if the other fella or lady goes in there and does that, and they already know them from other battles and they feel like, we're in this together, they'll get an audience. Just what you're saying, Michelle. They can get through doors that we can't sometimes.
Right. And the chances of that being picked up are probably more likely of happening than me going there and voicing my opinion, like I said, when they already know where I stand.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that happens, and we see this all the time, is we're made fun of. There is this stereotype of that gun person,
right.
that gun show type of person that we all have in our head that we've been displayed to the world as, and that's not how we are. We've talked about it before. It's a profession. This to us is serious business.
It's not just that we're made fun of. Is that their attitude is dismissive, which means we don't need to be even considered.
That's true.
It's a dismissal as much as anything. Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah, that's, get a bunch of gun guys together. Where do you get a full set of teeth? It's totally dismissive, so that they can feel good about completely ignoring us or rendering us irrelevant. And that's part of the whole deal.
So turn that around. That's how we've made those liberals feel.
Thank you. Exactly right. It's that old deal of the only way I can feel important is to put somebody down. That's kind of lame.
You can put somebody on a pedestal without crushing somebody else, and a lot of people don't understand that concept of you get further with sugar than salt, and people just don't get it.
And you don't have to use that to put people down, because, Jim, I put you down all the time without using those kind of things.
I can't even get back up.
Yeah, there you go. If I'm going to go after you, we're going to talk about your shooting ability. Or,
what shooting ability?
Hey, I shot this week a ton, by the way.
You shot a ton?
A ton.
How much?
I shot 2,000 pounds.
Did you pack out that ton?
Yeah, yes, I did.
What'd you shoot?
I shot my SKS finally, and I tell you what, it's the coolest rifle I've ever shot. It just is.
He's got a precision model, which is a little bit different. I'm trying to find out exactly what the difference is, but it's got this really weird, funky rail on the left-hand side of the receiver.
Mine's cooler is what the difference is, Mike.
Yeah, it's ultra cool. No, it's not, but it's nice. It's clean, man.
It shoots great. I mean, just the feel of it, the discharge, and
how long have you two been married? That's what I want to know.
It's like some boxing gloves going on here, I'm just saying.
And we shot 9s and 40s and 40s. Michael actually came over on Labor Day. We had an impromptu shooting lesson for a bunch of folks.
Yeah.
And we had, Michael, 4 or 5 people that never touched a gun in their life came out. And it was great. And one of them has since asked me about purchasing and taking the next step. And it was cool. It was a great impromptu get-together.
And then you shot some pistols, I hear.
Some pistols, a 9, a 45, and a 40.
That's a pretty good comparison. You shot the 9, 40, and 45. Give me your impressions of the 3 calibers.
Well, the 9 was like, all the other 9s I shot. I kind of use that as my reference point. Mm-hmm. I think the 45 is slower and beefier, but the 40 was snappier. Mm-hmm. The 40 had a snappier recoil.
But you said you thought the 45 actually felt better.
It did. It felt better in my hand. The grip is better, and I shot that better because of the fit, I believe.
It's fat.
Gen 3, Gen 4? What was it?
Gen 4 on the 9 and the 45. Gen 3 on the 40. So, I mean, pretty decent comparison. They're all compact sticks.
Right.
They're all snappy because, I got big mitts. I can only get 2.5 fingers on them. And I didn't have any of the extended mag butts. But, I just got them. I haven't had a chance to play around yet.
If you're trying to manage those short grips, about a 6-inch length of broom handle and some duct tape.
Yeah. Which doesn't really affect the concealability whatsoever, I found.
Not well, that's when you have the quick release detach thing. You use a C-clamp.
Yeah. But I thought the 40 was very sprite, and I wasn't expecting that. Just for some reason, in my feeble brain is 9, 40's in between a 45 and a 9, but not recoil-wise.
I think it surprises a lot of people. The 40 I think it is much more difficult for people to master than either the 45 or the 9.
Well, and then when I tried to put the GT10 rounds in there, and I just kept tapping the bullet down into the case further to get them to fit, that didn't work.
Eventually, you can get it to go, right?
Yeah,
Beat on it hard enough.
Something must be wrong with the extractor, though. It didn't want to come out.
But none of them had the recoil of the 10 millimeter.
No, sir.
Have you shot one of those 10 millimeter Glocks?
Ooh. No,
I've not shot the 10 millimeter Glock. No.
They are potent. Oh my God! I got to shoot one a couple of weeks ago, and I did not care for it at all. But but when you look at the round and you set it next to all the different rounds, you're like, "Oh, that's so big."
It's like a 357, basically.
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 10 millimeter loaded up like it should be has a good bit more power than a 357 Magnum. It's right about just a smidge underneath a 41 Magnum.
See, I'd be curious to shoot that little subcompact 40 you got because I've shot the full-sized 40 cal Glock, and I wasn't I could use some more practice on it, is what I'm saying. It's got a lot of snap to it.
Well, why don't we wrap this show and go outside and do some shooting?
I'm thinking a subcompact 10 millimeter is the way to go.
Oh, my. You probably lose all your fingernails.
2-inch barrel, right?
That's right. Just don't shoot it around anything flammable.
Yeah, where's my watch? Oh, it's 300 feet behind me. Yeah.
Oh, I got another real quickie for you, Tom. You'll appreciate this. I had an out-of-town client come in last weekend, and he was going to spend the night at our house for just a real little quickie in and out-of-town deal. So when he was coming over, I realized that and set out on my kitchen table everything I needed for our evening out, which included a firearm, as always. Okay. And I kind of made a little theatrical display because I know he's from New Jersey. He's not anti-gun,
right?
But what I've learned kind of is, at least East Coast folks, and I'm generalizing like crazy, I realize we'll hear about this too. If you're not pro-gun, you're anti-gun. I've always disagreed with that, saying, there's some people in the middle. But I think the neutral folks, at least the folks I've met, I should say, they are kind of anti-gun only because
that's what they get fed all the time.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's all you're exposed to. That's all you know. Mm-hmm. So I intentionally left all this stuff out on the kitchen table, and he came over and gave him a little walk through the place and said, all right, we got to get going, so let me just get my stuff together here. As soon as he walked in the kitchen area, he saw all the stuff sitting on the table, and he's like, gee, does everybody carry a gun in Ohio? I said, they do in this house. And so I just proceeded to get dressed, and he saw it was just like next to my cell phone, my keys, my wallet, the bag I take to the work. And just to him, it blew his mind that it was a wardrobe choice, in essence, necessity, more so than in the vision he had that people with guns were, the stereotype we're always fighting. Right. And then later in the evening, he brought it up again, and I heard him talking to one of his colleagues a couple of days later. We were doing some work together, and he made a comment, hey, we're over at Jim's in Ohio, and boy, everybody seems to pack there, but nobody seemed like you're crazy. I'm like, bam, gotcha. It was
Score.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, and it was like I said, it was theatrical. It wasn't like it was placed so he couldn't miss it.
Well, you had a disco ball above it with lights on it.
That didn't help. Well, I mean, I had a wristwatch laying on tape. I haven't worn a watch in 10 years, but I did that night just to kind of have everything in there make sense to him that it is part of my preparation. If I leave the house without a gun, I feel naked.
Were you wearing your Make My Day wristwatch?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my Clint Eastwood fan club T-shirt.
There you go. That's it.
Anyway, it was just neat to expose someone who wasn't anti, but he just had the wrong perception of it, and now he's got a little bit different perception.
What you did is something we've talked about a lot, and it frankly was one of the reasons we started this show almost 20 years ago, which is I always said, I just want people who are not gun people to hear gun people talking about guns and shooting and training and all that, and come away with the impression where they say, well, those guys don't sound crazy, which is an admission of, I think maybe I have been misled on this.
Yeah. Because
that's a difficult thing for people. If you walk up to them and say, you know what, you've been lied to on this, then they're going to throw up their defenses and go, oh, no. But if you just let them come to it on their own, which is what you did, where you say, you're not actually saying anything. Mm-hmm. You're showing them. They say, I like you already. I work with you. You're a very reasonable, rational person. Oh, I didn't know you were a gun guy. And now he's putting two and two together, and he goes, that's not what I've been told. If you're a gun guy, you're supposed to be like a crazy guy.
Yeah, if I could just figure out a way to build this guy for it, it would be great.
No. What you do is you have to build a different client. You're just not understanding the way this thing works. You pass it along.
I have a lot to learn.
I have actually, I was going way off the rails, heard of people or companies that simply bill a whole bunch of people. It goes to people they don't have business with, and goes to accounts payable. And they figure, hey, look, some certain percentage of accounts payable are just going to pay it.
Yep. I worked for a guy like that. That's why I left him about 20 years ago. Yeah, because he was. His trick was the day the check came, he'd re-invoice it. So he could always use the excuse, I just second invoice must have passed in the mail. But he knew his big client had a lousy quality control issue in their accounts payable department. And
that's low.
Oh, yeah. It infuriated me.
Theft?
Yeah, theft?
Fraud.
Can't imagine. Yes, theft, fraud. Wow. Who would have thought? But wait, you're a gun guy.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like one of the reasons I really wanted to do this billboard with Shanine Allen is to have this picture up here. And now, did you guys catch, I didn't mention it on the air, but did you guys catch the significance of when Frank Fiamingo from the New Jersey Second Amendment Society says, I had Shanine Allen to the Tea Party meeting and introduced her there, and we presented her the check and said, okay, let's see how many stereotypes did we just break. Shanine Allen, single mother, an African-American lady, and they get all of the things that you've been told about Tea Party from the media.
Yeah.
And going...
Out the window, yeah.
Out the window. I said, look, we're pretty accepting. We're actually, if you're a kind, nice person, we like to be around you. That's all. And as he was talking, I was just sitting there thinking, I wonder if people actually caught that little irony there, that going against what the media, the way they portray the Tea Party folks, too. Because, they get hammered the same way gun owners do. Kind of they put us all together there. So, anyway, it's just one of those passing things. My brain goes, interesting.
I caught it.
It does that occasionally, guys.
You mean we're supposed to be paying attention while you're on the show?
I'm sorry. Did you say something?
No.
I have an excuse. I was answering the phones.
She's also a liar.
Take it back.
Michelle's over there flirting with the callers. I know what you're doing.
Do you have Skype? Call me later.
Well, you know what it is? Actually, they call and say, Michelle, look, could you tell me what... And they're asking her questions. She never puts them on the air because she knows all the answers.
I didn't know you knew that.
We get 600 calls a day, Tom. You only get about 25 of them.
Got my own fan club.
Calling the Michelle show here. Hey, Michelle, I got this gun. She says, yeah, that's fine. And then she says, well, check out my blog. I've got this thing going over here.
The next time Tom's your apprentice, you should talk to him about...
There we go.
And I do want to put one last thing out there that a caller had, just after you had talked with Frank, had called in and had said something to remind us, basically. He had called in last year looking for some help. He does a lot of traveling. You had recommended to him the Interstate Travel 50 Law book, or 50 State Law book, I'm sorry. And he had called in and he said, you know what, that helped me so much, and it's kept him out of jams, and he knows when he travels state to state what the laws of travel and firearms are, that he wanted to put that out there for everybody to pay attention, know that those books are updated yearly, and by all means, keep yourself informed. I mean, the situation that happened in New Jersey is very unfortunate, and it does go to the reciprocity that we need to get to. But until then, the more knowledge we have, the better off we are.
It's a great point. The website gunlaws.com, they have a lot of books there on gun laws of various states, so that's a good place to start. So there's a lot of places. Of course, obviously, the handgunlaw.us is a great site for reciprocity, for information about that. I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know, Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a book that's published every year. I think it's called the Laws of 50 States, and it's $10, $12. It's not much on the retail side. So it's a neat handbook to have at all times.
Keep it in your glove box.
Absolutely.
Gun laws. Yep. Okay. I tell you what we'll do. We will try to track down whoever puts that up. Gun laws for the 50 states. Stand by. I think I may have found it here. A book for every American gun owner. We are now shipping the 2014 edition. We just found it. And it is gunlawguide.com. And a traveler's guide for the firearms laws of the 50 states.
That's what it is. Thank you.
That would be a cool Christmas gift, too, to give to somebody, especially a new gun person who's, they may get a holster for Christmas, they may get this or that, but to get something like that that's usable throughout their year would be kind of pretty thoughtful, I think.
Well, and you've got so many people that travel, snowbirds, as we call them up here in the north, that go down and enjoy the Texas and Alabama shore and Florida coastline, through the wintertime. They have to go through so many states, and there's several of them along the way that aren't gun-friendly.
I'm so glad we have you as the voice of reason on this end.
So is Tom.
I'm serious. Also, us crazy people here.
Exactly. That's exactly what I meant.
All right, so once again, that's gunlawguide.com for that book. And I tell you what we'll do. We'll try to get the producer, writer, publisher, whatever of that book on soon, and we can yak about that a little bit. That's a great idea.
Okay, let's go shooting, Hooper.
Coolies.
Let's go shooting Hooper. Boy,
no, let's not shoot.
There's a comma. There's a comma in that sentence.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see the comma. Okay.
I've lost a lot of weight. I'll turn sideways.
Oh, man. All right. Congrats, by the way. How you doing that?
Cut out fast food, mostly. Just don't eat fast food anymore.
Well, there goes our sponsorship from McDonald's.
Damn.
I'm loving that.
Yeah, it's a 9mm. I'm loving it. Okay.
Maybe Kroger will back you.
Yeah, I could use a sponsorship or two.
There we go.
I'll get it tattooed on my face.
Yeah. Whoa.
Just gives you all the more reason to go to Kroger's.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Buy that healthy food.
And let them know, I'm here because.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you go to Kroger, seek out the manager and say, look, I'm just here. Want to let you know I'm here because of your policy, and I appreciate you standing up for civil rights, for my rights.
Now, do you think the manager level is a place to be on that, Tom, or to contact Cincinnati?
I would do all of it.
Do both, yeah.
But I would let local managers know because they're going to pass that along to their regional managers. It's going to be passed up the line, too. So
Yeah.
I would do all of it.
Well, in most of your towns, when you have more than one major mart of some sort or grocery store, you got to pick and choose where you're going to go. And if that gives you the reason to go there, you got to let them know why.
Yep.
And the competition is fierce.
Yes, it is.
So if I say, look, we're picking up business because of this, that gets filtered up the line. And they're, regional managers are checking with their store managers on a daily to weekly basis.
Sure.
So
well, and God knows, how much they're getting from the other side.
Right.
Exactly. They're getting hammered.
Yep.
I bet you.
Yep.
All right, guys, I'm tired of you, so let's go.
Don't sugarcoat it. How do you really feel?
Good thing we have 6 days to recover.
Yeah, no doubt.
Man.
I'm going to be in the corner crying, rocking, sucking my thumb. It's going to be great.
Oh, you poor,
Okay, that's
poor
it always, though. You're always been like that.
How's that
Show's
different
over.
from
I
any
got
other
to wait
day?
a week to talk to people.
Yeah, let's call it change up this week. Let's do something different, Michael.
Like what?
Cry in the middle of it, not in the corner.
Okay.
There you go. That's right.
Well, have an awesome week, buddy.
All right, you guys too, and go shoot something. Pull a trigger.
Got it.
Take care.
All right.
Done deal.
Hey, how'd you like the Gun Talk After Show? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, we stick around after the regular radio broadcast and just have a little fun. You can get it on your computer, or better yet, have you heard about the new Gun Talk app for your Android or iPhone? That makes it real easy. Download it today in the App Store. You can use your iPod too. Join us again right here next week for the Gun Talk After Show with Tom, Jim, Michelle, and Michael. It's always worth it, and it's never boring, I can tell you that. We'll see you next week. We're hanging out at guntalk.com. Meet us there.